Today we're going to focus on just one cryptocurrency. It's HYPE, H-Y-P-E, or Hyperliquid. HYPE is its ticker symbol. It's been shooting up. Take a look at this. It is number 11 in terms of total market cap as of the making of this video. But if I resort by fully diluted, it's number 9, technically in the top 10. And you might be thinking, I haven't heard about this one, or maybe you have, but it isn't talked about as much as others. We're going to get into it on a high level fairly quickly. What is it? What does it do? Why should you be interested or not? And then, am I going to invest or not? And why? We'll talk about that at the end. But first, I have to say my disclaimer. I'm Brian. Informational purposes only, not financial advice. Big dumb animal. Don't make decisions based on what I'm talking about. Do your own research. I also have a school community where I help teach about crypto, how to use it, how to move it into IRAs, all sorts of things. There's a link down below. You can also join. There's a link to that on my video page. Please like and subscribe. Okay, let's get started. And we'll actually talk about my school community a little bit towards the end. It's related to this and why you may or may not want to get involved in it. So Hyperliquid, like I said, number 11. Let's take a look. What is it? It's a layer 1. Now, there are many layer 1s that I consider to be generic layer 1s. And then there are those that have tried to focus. In other words, they want to focus their use cases and some of the support to the development community around a particular industry, and that might help them market it and get more adoption. So for example, Near Protocol, layer 1, focused in AI, Hyperliquid focused in financial markets, decentralized finance. Now, current 12.5 billion market cap, fully diluted, about 3 times that, because 1/3 of their total supply coins is out. 999.99 million, whatever. A billion coins, max supply, and circulating is 1/3 of that. Okay, so that makes sense. What's interesting here is you'll see their token distributions, nothing really changes until December of 25. The first amount all went out and was airdropped to the community. And then eventually some starts going to what they call core contributors. Notice here, no VCs, no investors. I think they called this a decentralized token launch, so a lot to the community. May have to do with some of which why it's gone up in value so much and kind of stayed there. So let's look at their website where they talk about their focus is finance, and they've got a decentralized exchange. Very similar to others. So since they are in the finance space, let's go to DeFi Llama. When you search it, you're going to want to, if you see here, you start typing in Hyper. It's got many of them. It's Hyperliquid L1, 1.47 billion total value locked. Incredible. If you look over here on the right, look at how it is rocketed up. Now the reason for that is you can show this in 2 different formats. When you show it in USD, of course, if the price of the token has gone up significantly, well, total value locked will go up significantly because the value's higher, looking in US dollars. If you switch it over to the token itself, you can see that it's pretty much the same as it was back in the March. Now, April had taken a dip, but look at it this way regarding token and then regarding USD. So I like to look at it in terms of token to give you an idea of how much more is actually being put in. Not much more is being put in at the moment. It's gone up because the dollar value has gone up. That's why this has been impacted so much. Okay, regardless, if we scroll down, we look at the protocols. We're going to talk about the 2 that I think are most important when it comes to decentralized finance protocols. So if you're new to DeFi Llama, if you look up here at the top, there's different layer 1s. Let's look at 2 just as an example. So I'll show you why we're going to focus on 2 different parts of Hyperliquid. Here's one, base. Total value locked. You scroll down, you look at the protocols. Typically, when you look at the top 3 or 4, usually one of them is an exchange. That's Aerodrome on Base. And then one of them is usually a borrow lend for liquidity. That's Morpho on the Base network. Okay, so that's theirs. Now, if we type in another one, let's look at Hedera. We pull up Hedera, and you scroll down. And their number 2 here, it's Saucer Swap, which is an exchange. Bonzo Finance, borrow lend. Now we go back up here. Let's go back to Hyperliquid. And we look at their protocols. The first one here is their exchange and lending platform. All right, so let's look at the Hyperliquid exchange. 487 million locked. And you can see it here in their graph. And if we go over to take a look at the exchange, here's what it looks like. Now, if you're new or if you're not new. Now, if you're new, you might say, what the heck is this? But if you're not new, you'll say, this looks like every other exchange. Yes, it's essentially like the other exchanges. However, I'm in the US. I can't access it unless I were to use a VPN. But it's like most other exchanges. We'll talk a little more about it in a second. But let's look at the next thing that was on the list, which is their lending platform, Hyperlend. Hyperlend, 300 million value locked. Now, if we look at Hyperlend, this is the dashboard. It's got the typical information you would see, what you've deposited, what you've borrowed, your health factor, whether or not you may be liquidated. And then you can look over at their stats, the markets in terms of what has been deposited, what they allow you to deposit or take out. You've got your hype, WST hype, which I'm guessing is if you stake it, then you get this in return. They've got a form of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and 2 different stable coins or variations of them, which is typical. You need stable coins. So most of the value locked, of course, is through hype. Decent, 3 million, 1 million, not much. Stable coins, decent amount for fairly new lending protocol, 7 million in stable coins. That's good. People typically like to take out stable coins. And they've got some stats on Hyperlend itself. All right, let's look at the price. Now, here's where it started out, around 11 or so. It had rocketed up. It came back down, back to 11 or so. And recently, since April, it's gone and tripled up to 37. That's what was able to give it that huge valuation, put it in the top 10 or 11. It's a layer 1, decentralized finance, finance focus. It's got its own exchange. Now, there's a popular trader, James Wynn, who has executed trades here, large trades, 40x leverage, seem to have gotten a lot of popularity. That has, I believe, helped them in terms of notoriety, the fact that they don't have venture capital and all of their coins went out to the development, to the community. They seem to be spurring a lot of development. I think those are very positive things. They're focused in finance as a layer 1. I think that's helpful. I think the finance industry, DeFi, will do very well. But let's take a look at where you can buy it. I believe this is very important. If we are indeed close to a bull market, and it's not going to last that long, well, we're waiting for a lot of retail investors to come in and start investing. You can see on CoinMarketCap the exchanges that it's on. And let's just look, what are the top 3 exchanges? Binance, Bybit, Coinbase. We come over to Hyperliquid, they're not on them. You can't buy hype on those exchanges. You might say, not a big deal, I know how to do it, blah, blah. Most people don't. I run that crypto school where I'm teaching people how to purchase their first crypto, typically on an exchange. It's not easy if you've never done it before. Get money into exchange, purchase the crypto. Then if you want to move it into your own wallet and you want to hold it, then you want to go to an exchange potentially, self-custody it and then go to an exchange and perform some transactions. Each one of those steps takes time. So to me, retail's not yet in this bull run. And when they do show up, this means that they have to have mastered what I would consider to be intermediate or advanced crypto learning to be able to purchase hype. I think that hurts it dramatically. I'm blown away that it's in the top 10 or 11. And the question is, and it's aptly named hype, is this just too much hype at the moment? Because it's got a huge valuation and I can't put my finger on it as to why. In other words, why would it be outpacing some of these others that have borrow lend and they also have exchanges? It doesn't seem to be out of the ordinary. You're not on major exchanges, which I think hurts it tremendously. You don't have VCs and others out there that are going to market it because it's in their best interest. It's the base community, and that's great. But when retail shows up, it's going to be a lot more people. They're not going to have the knowledge as to how to buy it. Personally, do what you will. I'm not purchasing it. I think it's already significantly overvalued. I don't see it greatly different than any of these other cryptos or exchanges. I'm talking short term. Things could change dramatically in the next coming months. But as of right now, I think hype is greatly overhyped. Do what you will, but that's my take. I'm not touching it. Have a great day. Hope we can all make generational wealth together with crypto. Hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching.